Right, Marvel. Yep, it's time to talk the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's been a lot of news surrounding the MCU, thanks Comic-Con, and I thought it'd be a good time to go through all the films, give you their release dates, and tell you why I'm excited to see some of those films in particular. So the very first film to come out in Phase 4 is Black Widow. It comes out on May 1st, 2020, and it'll be starring the likes of Scarlett Johansson, Rachel Weisz, David Harbour, and Florence Pugh. This is a pretty interesting cast. Been waiting a long time for the Black Widow film, so I'm pretty excited to see this. It's been a long time coming. They then announced that that'll be followed up by The Eternals, and this one is a very interesting film and has a ridiculous cast. So it comes out on November 1st, 2020. Looks like 2020 will be a very good year for the MCU. And it'll be starring, well, let's just go over some of these names. So I think you can only start in one place with this film, and that's Angelina Jolie. Yeah, Angelina Jolie is going to be in the MCU. It's a pretty big deal. At least I think so. And she'll be joined by Richard Madden of Bodyguard and Game of Thrones fame, Kumail Nanjiani, Salma Hayek is in this one as well. That's a pretty big deal, Salma Hayek. It's a big cast and it's going to be directed by Chloe Zhao. So yeah, it's an exciting project. And then after that will be the very first of Marvel's new TV series. They'll be on Disney Plus, and the very first one will be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. And also Daniel Brühl, who'll be back as Baron Zemo. And we got a little glimpse of him in a purple hood. So it looks like he's gonna be OG Baron Zemo here, which is pretty cool. It's all good, it's all good. It's a good time to be a Marvel fan. So 2021, February, we've got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Okay Google, can you tell me the cast of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings?
According to Mirror, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings cast. The Kim's Convenience star has been cast as the Master of Kung Fu, Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi has no superpowers but is a skilled fighter. The celebrated Hong Kong star Liang will play the classic Marvel villain known as the Mandarin.
This film will star Simu Liu and Tommy Leung and Awkwafina. She's from Crazy Rich Asians, and it's going to bring back the Mandarin, who we saw in Iron Man 3, but this will be the actual proper OG Mandarin as opposed to Ben Kingsley's Mandarin, or I should say Sir Ben Kingsley's Mandarin, sorry. This is actually a pretty big deal because this is the first instance of someone basically being cast as the lead thanks to a tweet. So let me explain this. Simu Liu, he tweeted that Marvel should get in contact with him, and they did, and then cast him as Shang-Chi literally 2 days before Comic-Con. Pretty cool. And they premiered him on, well, they unveiled him on the stage at Comic-Con in Hall H. Yeah, it's a pretty big time for him. So then in spring 2021 we've got WandaVision, which will see Elizabeth Olsen return as Scarlet Witch and Paul Bettany return as the Vision. Yeah, thought he died, but apparently not. Also in spring 2021 we've got Loki, which means Tom Hiddleston's also coming back as Loki despite having died in the MCU, but it turns out that it won't be that version of the character, it'll actually be the version from the 2012 film, which we saw in Endgame. He ended up disappearing. So it'll be Loki before he kind of realised the errors of his ways in a weird way, if that makes any sense. It'll be kind of evil Loki, I suppose that's one way you could call it. So 2021, now we'll go on to the next film, not the TV series in the MCU. It'll be Doctor Strange, wait for this title, in the Multiverse of Madness. This is a great title. I love this title. This will see Scott Derrickson return as the director, and he also said it'll be the first scary film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Kevin Feige was very quick to say that it'll still be PG-13, so don't worry, kids can still see this film. So this will be followed by a What If series, and this is very interesting. So this is going to be a series where basically you see what happens if certain Marvel characters had taken another decision. You know, that means that we can see things like Captain America actually be part of Hydra, which is in the comics, and you might be able to see it in the What If series. It is going to be based on a comic book series called What If. And this one will have Jeffrey White as a voice, and he'll be joined by all the Marvel Cinematic Universe actors doing voices for their characters. So it's a pretty big deal. So then after that, in autumn, we've got the Hawkeye series. And this will see Jeremy Renner return as Hawkeye, and he's actually going to get to do something. So the next film is the one I'm really excited to see, and I also think it's the best title for a film, and that's Thor, Love and Thunder. I love that. Also, the logo is particularly good. It looks like a kind of combination of Thor, Ragnarok and He-Man. It's very 80s inspired. And this will see Taika Waititi return to direct after Ragnarok, and Chris Hemsworth's back, and Natalie Portman will be back in this one, and she'll actually be the female Thor? That's a tough one to say, the female Thor, yeah? There's a lot of stuff happening in Phase 4. Kevin Feige also, at the very end of the conference, announced a whole load of other films that he just kind of rattled them off. So, let's start off. He said there'll be a Black Panther 2, there'll be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, there'll be Captain Marvel 2, there'll be Fantastic Four, which is come back to Marvel after the acquisition of Fox, and then there'll be Blade. That kind of came out of nowhere, and that's probably the film I'm the most excited to see. And it won't star Wesley Snipes, no, he's being replaced by Mahershala Ali, who actually was originally in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Cottonmouth in the Luke Cage series, but apparently that doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, that's it. That's a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of films to come out in the next, what, 3 years, 4 years? So let me know which ones you're most excited to see in the comments below, and please like, share and subscribe. That's always great when you do that. Follow us everywhere at SmallScreenGB on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not Pinterest. YouTube though, we are on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. I can't say these names. Awakfina? Look, come here. Tell me how to say this name. It's just one name.
Awkwardfina, like awkward. Not like awkward.
Awkwardfina?
Awkwardfina.
Not Aquafina?
No, it's spelled awkward. It's basically almost awkward without the RD. Awkwardfina.
How to pronounce Aquafina? It's Aquafina.